The theory known as the Great Replacement, long considered a conspiracy theory of the far right, is now becoming a reality. The Spanish government is legalizing the stay of over 500,000 illegal migrants and announcing that it wants to grant Muslim newcomers the right to vote. The right wing is sounding the alarm, as this would inevitably lead to an increase in crime and economic collapse in Western Europe. All the while, Brussels is keeping quiet. European Commissioner for Home Affairs and Migration, Magnus Brunner, has stated that the legalization of hundreds of thousands of migrants who will be able to move freely within the EU and receive social assistance in any EU country is the exclusive competence of the member states and a matter in which Brussels has no say or power. Ceuta, a Spanish autonomous enclave on the Moroccan territory. Located on the African promontory, it has guarded the Strait of Gibraltar since ancient times. According to internet users, in recent days more and more Muslims have been storming the borders here. The tsunami is going to be thundering. It will collapse all public services in Spain and create a wave of rape and unprecedented crime in Spain and Europe. Pedro Sanchez must be tried by European courts for these crimes and replacement ideas. This concerns the decision of the left-wing Spanish government to expedite the legalization of more than 500,000 illegal migrants. Spain is in the hands of a completely criminal, corrupt government, a government that has taken this initiative to legal 500,000, 600,000, 700,000 illegal migrants. In fact, even the government itself does not know how many there actually are. They want to grant these illegal migrants legal residence in Europe. People of unknown origin and unknown criminal past, after obtaining such a permit, will be able to move freely throughout the European Union. Polish MEP Dominik Tarczyński commented on the matter. Who gives the European Commission its majority in the European Parliament now? The Spanish left. We are the last places in Europe that are keeping an eye on this group and preventing them from further besieging Europe, because at this point, this is a siege. Left-wing politicians openly admit that they want these legalized migrants of unknown origin to be given the right to vote as soon as possible. Of course we want you to vote. We have already achieved legalization and now we will get you citizenship or change the law so that you can vote. I hope we can put the theory of exchange into practice. I hope we can cleanse this country of racists with the help of immigrants and working people. The so-called Great Replacement was called a far-right conspiracy theory for a long time. In fact, it can be said that the left in Spain is already buying votes because these illegal migrants are very likely to vote for them in the future. Most of them receive Spanish citizenship without even speaking Spanish, and then they receive the right to vote. And that right to vote comes with money and a range of privileges that they know will be taken away if another party wins. There have always been many migrants in Spain. Most of the immigrants in our country come from Latin America. They speak Spanish, are Catholic, and identify with the culture we have here in Spain. This migration goes back decades. They have really been living here for a long time. Some families are already in their third or fourth generation, and these children are more Spanish than foreign. Now, however, the situation is completely different. In big cities, for example in Madrid, where I live, some neighborhoods in the center have turned into real ghettos. This corrupt, criminal left-wing government, led by Pedro Sanchez, is promoting an invasion from Africa that is destroying our country. The social welfare system and housing are collapsing. The country cannot cope with such a number of people. For newcomers with an unknown criminal past, legalization of their stay in Spain opens the door wide to all of Europe. Not just freedom of movement, but also the right to residence, benefits and healthcare, even in a country like Poland.
And that's the way Europe works.
Brussels sees no problem in legalizing hundreds of thousands of illegal migrants who arrived in the EU without any documents.
The Spanish part and the regularization of migrants, of illegal migrants, we are of course aware of the new law which has been decided in Spain. And decisions and policies also.
Brussels is washing its hands of this, saying that it is an internal decision of the member state. So it is an internal decision of a member state to legalize such a large number of illegal migrants, yet Brussels imposes migrant quotas on member states according to the Migration Pact. Because even though it was the Brussels elites, straight from Berlin, who brought the migration crisis upon Europe, it is the member states individually that now have to deal with the problem.
I już słyszymy, że
And we are already hearing that in many countries, Spain being one example, there are quite a few politicians who would like to legalize these foreigners and newcomers who currently have no right of residence and even grant them citizenship. Among the leaders of such a solution in Poland is Krzysztof Śmiszek, MEP for the New Left. I see that the extreme right is furious because Spain has regulated the status of 500,000 migrants. They fear some imaginary great replacement. They are always afraid of something. In Poland, too, the time has come for a serious conversation about the broader inclusion of migrants in social and political life. When asked about the matter, the leader of the party and Speaker of Parliament, Włodzimierz Czarzasty, claimed not to have heard of Krzysztof Śmiszek's statement. It's hard to imagine that 1.5 million Ukrainians are not integrated into society. They are in our schools. They benefit from our care. I am not familiar with this statement. That's how vastly unpopular policies get smuggled into public debate. Those who want to implement them need to wash their hands of any association with these policies.